Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back. I wanted to continue talking about the movie, The Wizard of Oz, as a spiritual allegory and how it can kind of help you along your spiritual journey, and just recognizing some of the different characters and symbols in the movie and how they might be relevant to what you're going through. So, today I wanted to talk about the ruby red slippers, and specifically that in the book they were silver, which signifies your eternal, like a silver cord connecting you to the divine, to your higher self, to your soul, and so that you are never disconnected. You're always safely connected. You're always, there is no separation. You are always a part of your higher self. You're always connected. You're always together. And in the movie, they made them red just because they thought that they would look very vibrant with the new Technicolor and especially against the yellow brick road. I also did want to mention that the book is different in a lot of ways from the movie. I am really just specifically talking about the movie as a spiritual allegory. The book is very much that way too, but the book has a lot of violence, and they watered a lot of that down. So I'm strictly talking about, the characters being metaphors and symbols and things like that. So I have never read the book, but I've looked into it a little bit, and the book does have a lot more violence. So I'm talking about the movie. So the slippers that Dorothy wears along her journey along the yellow brick road are what ultimately helps her get back to Oz, right? She wanted to go see the wizard to get help in going home. She thought that the wizard would help her get back to Oz to go home. And she's wearing the ruby red slippers the whole time, not knowing that that is the key to getting her home. And at the end of the movie, when Glinda the Good Witch says, "Oh, Dorothy, you always had the power to go home. You always had that ability, that capability." And the Scarecrow says, "Well, why didn't you tell her, sooner? Why didn't you tell her at the beginning when you put them on her feet?" And she says, she wouldn't have believed me. So that's also, true in that the journey was never about becoming worthy, right? It was about stripping away the illusions that make you think you're not. You know, the the yellow brick road and Dorothy wearing her shoes the whole time, it's that knowing that you are always connected to the divine. Maybe you didn't know that before, but now that you're awake, you know you're always connected to your higher self. You're never alone. You chose to come here to have an immersive human experience, and it wasn't to make you whole. You didn't come here to earth to be, to have this human experience to earn your worthiness. It was to have an immersive experience, to just expand your consciousness, to forget, to then remember, to have this vast range of emotions, because on the other side of awareness, you don't have such a staggering array of highs and lows, right? You came to experience that here on earth. So the journey to Oz in the movie is not about becoming more courageous or smarter or more loving. All those characters already had all those qualities within them. Just like Dorothy always had the ability to get home, wearing the ruby red slippers, all she had to do was click them together. She just wouldn't have believed it. She didn't have the consciousness at the beginning of the movie to believe it. So, the journey is not about becoming worthy. It is about, again, stripping away the illusions that you're not wise enough, you're not, smart enough, you're not courageous enough, you're not loving enough. But all those things are your innate core essence, right? You are made of love. That is what you are. At your core being, you are love. And so I just think it's a beautiful, hope-filled, perspective that, you're never separated from your higher self. Just like Dorothy wearing the slippers, is she's always connected to home, which is, your divine spark, and you're not alone. You're always connected to your higher self, and you have a ton of people or spirit helping you. Your guides, your angels, ascended masters, archangels, they're all there, waiting in the wings to help you. You just have to ask them in for help. So, as always, I hope that this was helpful or interesting to you in some way. And I'm sending you lots of love. And I hope that you have a great day. Thanks.